You cannot fault Doe for feeling how she felt, like, trying to reach out to your friend that you have gotten used to and, starting to feel like maybe this person feels like you're no longer on the same level.
Maybe Doe was feeling, oh, this Jane babe, she now rolls with celebrities, big
Exactly.
people.
The celebrity lifestyle.
Hi, BedNighters. Welcome back to Bed Nights with VINVAE. This is night one. Wow. I'm so excited. You already know the drill. You know, you've watched the intro video. You know what this show is all about. And today I have my first guest for night one. I'll let her introduce herself. Her name is OP. OP, over to you.
Hi, my name is OP. I'm an IT auditor. I am happy to be the first guest to pioneer this. And so I read the idea, and I think it's going to be it's going to turn out to be an amazing thing, right? And I'm looking forward to see the amazing things you're going to do with this. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Okay, we already know what the show is about, the segment. I already introduced you, so right now you tell us your story and take us on a ride.
Sure, that's why I'm here. Um, I do hope that we can make this as interactive as possible. Like, even in the middle of my story, I don't mind if you
Oh,
me and ask me questions.
great.
But today I'm just going to be talking about friendships. It's going to be a story on, friendships and how tricky friendships can be.
So today's topic and story from OP is friendships. She's going to tell us all about friendship, how tricky and scary friendships can be. Okay, OP, over to you. Your show.
Sure. Well, I only feel like friendships can be tricky if not properly handled. Okay, so the story I have to discuss today is how friendships can be lost when people find that they are not at the same life phase, right? At different life stages. Now, the story that I'm narrating today is about a girl, like a friend. Let's just say a friend of mine for the sake of
Okay.
this conversation.
Okay.
So she's started out as a banker in this, very popular bank. I'm not going to be mentioning bank names.
Yeah, in Nigeria or Canada?
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Started out as a banker, and from there discovered her passion for emceeing, hosting shows,
Hosting
and all
shows.
that. And I mean, that came with a lot of gigs. Obviously, she started from the scratch, took gigs within the company, like hosting gigs for the company. And then after some time, she obviously gained traction, became more popular enough to resign from the bank and, you know, focus on doing that, hosting shows, emceeing, and, has become one of the most popular young hosts in Nigeria today. Actually, this person is not directly my friend, but again, for the sake of this conversation,
Yeah.
and after some time, you know how popularity.
For the sake of this convo, to carry our listeners along, can you name the person? Give the person a name.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's just say Jane.
Jane. Okay.
We're gonna call the person Jane.
Jane.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I
Mm.
should have done that, but thank you. That's why we're yeah, our anchor, right?
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for that. So Jane had to, resign when the demands became higher for, hosting
Hosting
events,
an event.
and that also meant that she was hosting high-end events
Mm.
with people in high caliber rather, elite and all that. And that increased her popularity, increased her business, and it was good. But then other hand, what people don't see for Jane and for, I would imagine, some other people that have been in that kind of, that have had that kind of story and projection is how you can lose friendships that you have had since when you were younger. So Jane has had this particular friend. They
Okay.
have been friends for the longest time. Went to school together, grew up together, even started doing adulthood together
Together.
because, she was an adult when she was working at the bank before
Okay.
she became popular,
Okay. I,
right?
I have a question. Is Jane your friend or are you friends with Jane's friend?
Yeah, I would say I'm closer to Jane's friend.
So Jane's friend. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and now she's had this friend that they've been, you know, as I said, grew up together, went to school together, started adulthood together, but then we're gonna name the friend as well. Doe.
Do.
That's what we're gonna call the friend.
A friend, a guy or a babe?
Hey, babe.
A babe. So Jane and Do. All right.
Both females.
Both females.
Both females. The demands of life.
Mm.
Doe wants her friend. Doe needs her friend. We all know how sometimes you have a hard day and you just want to talk to your
Talk to
friend
your
about
friend.
it. You want to still do things with your friend. This is your friend that you used to go out together, you know, have fun together, plan a future together. And then all of a sudden the demands of life seems to be snatching them from you. That can be a hard place to be for both parties. It doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people, so it got to a point where Doe would call Jane, and maybe Jane is in the middle of,
Preparing for her
or
events.
in the middle of hosting a show or attending other events so that she can, meet people because you want to make sure that you are networking as well
Yeah.
so that you can keep being invited to, host shows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's a business and
Yeah.
she already quit her job, so she has to push through.
Absolutely,
Okay.
you get the idea.
Yeah, I get you.
But Doe, on the other hand, not out of not being an understanding person,
Mhm.
but out of being emotionally connected to Jane, wasn't getting the best of her like she was used to. Now this is the place where compromise comes in. How much of understanding can you show as Doe? Before you start to feel like this person has outgrown you, or maybe they are not placing as much importance on you. And Jane, on the other hand, I don't know her side of the story, but I mean, because I never got to, talk to her about it or anything, but I would imagine that she tried as well. You know, Sometimes when your focus changes in life, right, it's juggling two things can be more
It
difficult.
can be more difficult. The
That
whole adulthood in general, it's more difficult, and being a business person comes with its own responsibility. It's not
Exactly.
easy at all. Unlike when you're working in 9 to 5.
Yep.
Every month, or Nigeria is monthly, yeah. It's Canada that is bi-weekly or weekly. Every month you show you are getting the alert, you are getting money.
Mm-hmm.
For a business person, if you don't market, if you don't network, you're on your own. No one is
Yeah.
coming to save you.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not going to take sides right now. Keep going. Yeah.
There, because even I won't take sides,
Mm.
right? Because it's just best to look at it from, both perspectives. That's why I said, I can understand though being, emotional because they have an emotional attachment towards this person. They had gotten used to talking to them, making plans with them and all of that. And then this other person's reality has changed. In the beginning, it was easier to manage. Then as things got busier, the showbiz life, right?
Yeah.
Spending more time doing makeup.
Photo shoots.
Exactly.
Oh,
Photo
things like
shoots. You have to
this.
spend more time shopping, doing fittings with designers, things got busier for her. And again, you cannot fault Doe for feeling how she felt, like, trying to reach out to your friend that you have gotten used to and, starting to feel like maybe this person feels like you're no longer on the same level.
Okay, maybe Doe was feeling, oh, this Jane babe, she now rolls with celebrities, big
Exactly. The
people.
celebrity lifestyle,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And maybe she's there feeling small. Was she feeling small or was she feeling like, oh, Jane is no longer on her level?
I mean, I think almost any way she was feeling can be logically justified if she
Mm,
was feeling smaller. That's the place of personal self-esteem, right?
yeah.
But again, I would just see it as she was missing her friend,
Okay.
someone she had become sort of emotionally dependent on,
On.
you know.
And you said they've been friends since childhood?
Yes,
Like
they've been
primary
friends.
school or secondary school?
Well, far back enough,
Far back enough, oh, I see.
far back enough to say that they've had, a solid friendship.
Mm.
And I know that they did try to talk about it. Doe expressed herself, and Jane was going to work on it and try to be more available to her. But again, it's one thing to say you would do something, it's another thing for your reality to not create enough time and allowance for you to be able to, live up to the other person's expectation
Okay.
out of no fault of either of them, to be honest. I'm not sitting here saying that one person should have, one person shouldn't have, because we don't know the realities of each person. But I believe that, that's the that's one point where friendship can be tricky, right? Um, personally, would I do anything better as Jane or Doe? Maybe, but I mean, that's one friendship story that I know of that, kind of just um opened my eyes to the well, I'm trying not to say fickleness. It can just be tricky.
Okay.
Friendship breakups are not talked about enough.
Yes, that's true.
Friendship, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
friendship breakups are not talked about enough. I personally have experienced one. That's not the story for today. I don't know how much time we have, but
We have all the time in the world, my dear.
I have
We've got.
recently experienced one myself, and I'm
Okay.
hoping that one day she would be able to, maybe create room to talk about it, right? But I'm just, the crux of the story is friendship breakups are not talked about enough. Friendships can be tricky. The breakups do hurt. I dare say almost as much, if not more than even romantic breakups, right? But yeah, I think just to summarize the story, that's the story I have today. I know you have questions and or comments or analysis. We can get right into.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is time for analysis.
Okay.
I've got questions. So, what happened afterwards? You said they talked about it. So, what happened afterwards? Did they keep, trying to make it work? Like, what happened?
Well, I think at that point things just died a natural death.
Okay.
Right? I don't think they're at a point where they'll see each other and not be able to say hi. No, it's not, there's no enmity or,
Okay.
but they're not as close
As
they
before.
used to be. And yeah, it just fizzled. Because, as though after some time, if you try to talk and talk, you start to look like you are hammering on a wall that is not going to let you through. Right. Again, of no fault of anyone. But I think things just naturally fizzled as should be.
Okay. What would you have done if you were Jane? And also, what would you have done if you were Doe?
Um, it's harder for me to answer this question as Jane because I don't know the entirety of the showbiz lifestyle. I only know as much as I see.
Mm.
But being someone in showbiz, I don't know how much of you it takes. I would imagine it's not small, right? But if it's a friendship that I hold dearly, I think I would do my best. This is not me saying that Jane didn't do her best, but I think I would do my best to talk more. I'm generally a communicative person. Like, let's talk about it and all that. And I will give her as much time as I can give her, letting her know that honestly, I rock with you a lot, but this is as much time as I can give right now, and maybe make plans, even if it's to go on maybe friendship mini vacations or
Or dates,
just to,
maybe dinner
yeah,
nights,
just to
movie
keep it
nights.
alive,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how much Jane did, but that's what I would do. And as though, what would I do? I think she did the best she could do. Talk about it and just let it happen naturally, right? But I would make sure that I don't build any resentment towards this person. Because if you build any form of resentment, it's almost like you don't wish for the best for the
For the person.
person, right? I mean, I don't want you to be stuck at any level. I want you to grow, right? As long as you're not making me feel like I'm doing worse than you are, I don't have to be in showbiz to be doing as well,
Well,
right? There are people that are not famous, but they are doing very well for themselves, right? So it's important to have a healthy enough self-esteem. And then you get to the point where you have to tell yourself the truth. If you have to make new friends,
that's
right?
true.
If you have to make new friends, you will heal. You would make new friends. Things fizzle. It's not because you fought. I mean, it's a good thing that you can still see each other and say hi. I don't know. I don't know if they will today, but because this happened years ago, right? I don't know where they are, where they both are mentally because it happened years ago. But then again, I will try not to build any resentment and start to make new friends. I told you I experienced one recently. And I told myself, so be it. I'm just going to, make new friends if I have to. It's not like I don't have other friends. I do have, some other core friends that I know that, these are my rocks, so to speak, right? So, yeah, I think
Okay.
I answered your question. If you have any more, I'm here for you.
Yeah. I don't think I have more because you did not really tell us what happened afterwards. I'm really curious, what happened afterwards.
What happened?
Uh, did Jane did Jane actually do anything? You said you close her to do. So did she actually try to reach out, book a date, a movie night, this, oh babe, okay, now let's hang out, or spend about, 30 minutes to an hour on the phone talking, because we are all adults, everyone.
Yep.
For it to fizzle out like that, I'm going to pick a side.
That's fair.
Yeah, in the beginning, I was trying to reason with Jane, but no matter how busy I've come, to the point in life that I know no matter how busy someone is, if you actually hold someone dear to you, you make out time, no matter how busy you are. This is not, I'm the host. This is not my story or my show, but I know how many things I do. And you even tell me you do so many things and you have time.
I know. You juggle so much.
Yeah, and you have time. And if they were really, really, really friends, childhood friends, or I don't know when it started, maybe uni or secondary school days, I feel Jane would have made out time. Like you said, Doe was reaching out. And me, for myself, if I keep reaching out to someone, so many friendship I've I'm not in talking terms with some people, but I've been in positions like this where I was the one reaching out. I would text, "Hey, what's up?" If I don't call, they don't call, and this is not a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought to myself, like, okay, no, I can't do this anymore. We are all in Canada. We are all adults. We are all busy. We all have to, work twice as hard, like, picking up a second job or side hustle. You are not the only one busy.
I would
That,
say though,
yeah.
I would say though that if you haven't filled certain shoes, don't personally, I'm just speaking for myself. If I haven't filled certain shoes, I try not to judge them, because again, as I said when I was narrating the story, I've never been into showbiz. I have no plans to be in to get into showbiz or anything like that. But at the same time, we don't know how much of Jane it was taking. Having to network, having to photo shoot and all of that.
Mm.
I'm just speaking for myself. That's
Yeah.
my opinion, right? I know that from what I heard from the conversations that I had, I know that Doe reached out and Jane did try to call, like return calls a couple of times.
Okay.
And then after some time, I think for Doe, what changed things was I see that you are not having as much time for me, and you have started making new friendships with people in showbiz as well.
Okay.
And you know, showbiz people tend to put their friendships out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
These days, people even use friendships for content. Like, oh, come with us to do da 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 da, you know.
Yeah.
My best friend and I are going on a vacation, and then they will take their followers with them.
Okay.
You know, it must have been in Joe's face, and
I see.
you know, it must have felt like, okay, I'm trying to reach out to this person, and they have a bit of time for new friendships. But for Jane, it could also be that, you know, they're making friends with someone that has the same schedule as they have, that understands the, you know, intricacies of being in showbiz as well, you know. So
I'm going to cut you there, but it shouldn't be like that.
realities change. I'm just playing the devil's advocate though.
Yeah.
Realities change.
Yeah, it's changed. Well, it shouldn't be like that. If people were really cool, really good together, it shouldn't be like that. Though, was she working in the
Yeah,
bank
of
too?
course.
In the bank too, or another sector?
In the back.
In the bank too, and bankers are also busy, so they both have busy schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people grow, realities change, you know, interests change.
Yes.
But I'm still on the side of Do.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
still, because she actually reached out. She actually wanted it to work. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, friendship breakups are hard. Sometimes you just have to, you know, take your L
In
and
peace and move on.
that's
So yeah, life continues.
Yep. I mean, it's continuing for me. Maybe on my next episode with you, or my next night with VINVAE,
Yeah, night.
we could, you know, bring up my own story. I'm
Okay.
still, you know, trying to come to terms with it. I'm still, you know, healing and dealing with it. And oh no, I will be fine. It's just, as adults, we need to talk more about friendship breakups, you know, and let people know that it's okay to open up yourself to your friend if you consider them your friend. Be vulnerable with them, but if after all of that it seems like it won't work, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, that's it from me. Do you have any further comments? I'm happy to dissect this further.
Yeah. Nothing. If you have any more thing to say, yeah, you know, you can spill it. But for me, I would say Jane could have done better, and though maybe more understanding. I don't know how long this went on for. Do you have any idea?
Oh yes, it was for years. I
For
mean,
years.
it was a whole projection. So this is not something that happened in 1 week or 1 month or 6 months. It's like things just started to, you know, drop, you know, and then the decline. At first is like being understanding. After some time, after a year, it's like, oh, we don't talk as much as we used to. We don't even do things together anymore. When I invite you to stuff, it's like, oh, you're busy. You have a tight schedule. You are booked for the day. You know, you also don't expect Jane to, they've booked her, they've paid her.
Yeah, it's a business.
So it was a downward spiral that took time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get, so it is it is what it is. That's life. That's life for you. Sad, but we move.
Yep.
They move. We all move. I guess they're all living, you know, life happily right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, OP.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being my first bed nighter, for gracing night one. Yeah, it's really out. Yeah, I'm really glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and make sure you enjoy the bed night mug.
Absolutely. Let me
Yep.
drink up.
Yep, drink up, drink. It brings good luck.
I'm just gonna drink more
Yeah.
then.
And hopefully I will see you soon. Yeah, pretty soon, pretty soon.
I look forward to it.
Okay. So guys, we're done for today's show, and let me know what you think. What do you think about the whole Jane and Doe situation? And if you were to be in their shoes, how would you have handled it? Like, how would you have handled it? Just tell me. Let me know. Wherever you're watching, listening from, I think there should be a comment section, a boss. Just tell me, what do you think? Thank you, and I'll see you on the next show, night 2. Bye.